The film begins with a young woman named Bea urgently entering a cafeteria and requesting permission from the waitress to use the bathroom. However, the waitress informs her that the bathrooms are reserved for cafe customers, so Bea must make a purchase to access the bathroom. She turns around and sees a huge line of customers waiting to pay, so Bea begs the waitress to allow her to use the bathroom and then she will proceed to make her purchase. However, the waitress ignores her words. Meanwhile, a man named Ben is observing the situation and intervenes, pretending to be Bea's husband and arguing that she has the right to use the bathroom because he has bought a drink. Faced with this, the waitress is forced to allow him access to the bathroom. Thanks to this, Bea manages to enter the bathroom and once inside, she calls a friend to tell her that she has felt a special connection with a man in the cafeteria. Unfortunately, in that moment amidst the commotion, Bea wets their pants, so they go to great lengths to dry it quickly. It takes a while but eventually they manage to dry it, and calmly exits the bathroom as if nothing had happened. Bea bids farewell to Ben politely and thanks him for helping, but as they walk away, Ben notices that the toilet paper is stuck to Bea's shoes, so he calls out to mention that detail. Bea turns around and without letting him speak, asks if he will ask her out. Surprised by the question, Ben responds that of course he will. They have an extremely great time taking a stroll through different places, and their chemistry is so strong that Ben takes her to his apartment, where they had an impromptu dinner. During the evening, they shared very personal details. Bea talked about her doubts regarding finishing her career to become a lawyer, and he told her about the significance of the wrench on his shelf. Ben confessed that it was a gift from his mother, who believed that no matter how damaged something is, there is always a way to fix it. The connection between them intensified with each passing moment, until they both fell asleep on the couch, without having any intimate encounter. The next morning, she wakes up and cautiously decides to leave the apartment without saying goodbye. Ben suddenly wakes up and becomes very angry when he notices Bea's departure. On her way, she calls her sister, Ollie, and tells her what happened, saying that she met a handsome man and had a lot of fun with him. Bea's sister tells her that she should not have left without saying goodbye and advises her to return to Ben's apartment and spend the rest of the day with him. Bea follows her sister's advice and returns to Ben's apartment, but she is surprised when she overhears a conversation between him and his friend Peter, in which he describes Bea as a clumsy and boring girl. He also expresses relief after getting rid of her. Upon hearing this, Bea is shocked and leaves the place with a broken heart. 6 months later, Ben goes to a nightclub with his friend Peter, where he meets Claudia, his friend's sister, who is accompanied by Ollie, Bea's sister. Interestingly, Bea is also at the nightclub and is surprised to see Ben in front of her again after 6 months. Bea is clearly angry with Ben because she did not forget what he said about her, and he, in turn, is also resentful because she left without warning. They actually don't want to see each other again and just want the night to pass and everything to be over. However, due to fate, Claudia and Jaylee are getting married and they are invited to the party, which will be held in Australia. Ben takes the flight and coincidentally, Bea also travels on the same plane. During the journey, while the boy was resting, Bea dares to steal a cookie from him, which proves to be quite difficult as the girl gets stuck in the seat. She tries all possible maneuvers and fortunately manages to free herself without waking up Ben, as he was wearing a blindfold and headphones, with music at full volume. Upon arriving in Australia, they are both greeted by someone who reveals that everyone will be staying together in the same house, and this makes Ben and Bea feel uncomfortable and annoyed. Ben is taken by surprise when he discovers that his ex, named Margaret, whom he could barely get over, will also be staying with them, so now he will have to deal with her. On the other hand, Bea must exercise patience with her parents, as they are pressuring her to resume her relationship with Jonathan, a young man she met in her adolescence. This undoubtedly becomes an uncomfortable moment for Bea. In the evening, Ben and Bea start playing with each other, fighting over a firework, but it gets out of control and explodes, almost ruining everything. In light of this, Claudia and Jaylee, who do not want their wedding to be ruined, decide to try to reconcile them to avoid further problems. They realize the plan, and amidst it all, Bea is surprised to see that her parents have brought her ex-boyfriend, Jonathan, in an attempt to reconcile them and get them back together. For Bea, this poses a problem as she has decided that their separation is final. She asks Ben to pretend to be together so that they will leave her alone and stop associating her with her ex-partner. Furthermore, it is believed that this could be beneficial for Ben, as Margaret may feel jealous and may become interested in him again. They both come to an agreement, and now they are very affectionate to attract attention and convince others of their love. Upon returning home, Ben teaches Bea's father how to dive, which undoubtedly warms the heart of the girl, who ends up thanking him. Not only that, Bea takes advantage of the situation to try to convince her parents that she does have a relationship with Ben, as she does not want them to keep insisting that she get back with her ex-partner. They pretend very well, and everyone starts to believe it, even walking hand in hand. Bea spends time with her ex-partner as they get along very well, which makes the girl's parents very happy with the situation, as it is what they expect. On the other hand, Margaret, Ben's ex-partner, approaches him and starts flirting with him because she feels jealous of Bea's closeness. Ben, being very clever, goes to tell Bea that the plan is working, so our protagonist calms him down as she sees him very nervous, and they come up with a new plan to make Margaret continue feeling jealous. In the afternoon, the whole family gets ready for a walk, and upon Bea's arrival, she dazzles everyone with her dress. Each protagonist spends time with their ex-partners, engaging in conversation and flirting a bit. Ben asks Bea to dance, and the connection between them is too strong as they undoubtedly make a lovely couple. Upon learning that everyone will go to the deck to toast, Bea takes Ben to reenact the famous Titanic scene, as she is sure this will convince her family that they are not pretending and will make Margaret even more jealous. They certainly achieve their goal. However, on their way back with the others, unfortunately, Bea falls overboard and Ben jumps in to help her, but when they try to return, the ship drifts away and they can no longer go back. Upon witnessing the situation, their relatives become frightened and call the rescuers, as it is the only way to help them. Meanwhile, Ben and Bea swim to a nearby buoy and take refuge there, feeling very scared and alone. While waiting for help, they have a conversation in which they talk about the first time they met and apologize to each other, Ben for speaking ill of her, and Bea for leaving her apartment without saying goodbye. Just as they were about to kiss, the rescuers arrive to save them. Ben is very scared of the height, but Bill calms him down by singing the song he usually listens to when traveling by plane, which relaxes him a lot and makes him forget his fear of heights. Our characters return home, unable to hide the attraction they feel for each other. The couple spends the night together, and after several hours, Ben decides to leave the room while she is still asleep. Finally, the wedding day arrives, and everyone is getting ready to make sure everything is in order. Ben goes to pick up the flowers with Peter, and on the way, he confesses that he is confused because Bea dropped out of school, and he sees her as an indecisive girl about her future. Meanwhile, Bea takes care of picking up the cake with Margaret. Ben's ex-girlfriend asks Bea if her relationship with Ben is serious, to which she responds that it is not, they are only together for some circumstances. Margaret is happy to hear this, as she is now determined to win Ben back. When Bea returns home, her parents already know that she dropped out of school, causing a commotion. Bea gets angry with Ben because her parents found out through him, so during the argument, Bea, extremely upset, reveals to them that they pretended to have a relationship the whole time so that they would stop bothering them. The pet ruins the cake, which greatly upsets the brides. Hours later, they get ready for the wedding, and Ben watches the brides argue and reconsider if getting married is a good idea at that moment. Seeing this, Ben becomes concerned because their arguments are ruining the wedding. Seeking peace, Ben apologizes to the brides, and then the ceremony proceeds smoothly. During the mass, our protagonists can't stop looking at each other. Later at the reception, the newlyweds dance and cut the cake. Bea talks to her parents, apologizing for not telling them about her decision to drop out of school. After a conversation, they make amends, and they calm down. On the other hand, Margaret takes the opportunity to dance with Ben and confess that she broke up with her boyfriend, and she is still in love with him, willing to win him back, and she kisses him. Bea, upon seeing the situation, becomes sad and decides to go for a walk to clear her mind. On the other hand, Ben, after the kiss, tells Margaret that he no longer feels the same way and apologizes. Later, Ben overhears others talking about him and Bea, and asks them to stop. Amidst the commotion, he learns that Bea left the party after seeing him kissing Margaret. Ben, after listening to advice, decides to search for Bea and plunges into the sea to be rescued and quickly reach where Bea is. Our protagonist runs towards her and tells her that he doesn't want to be with Margaret, that he loves her and only wants to be with her. After a romantic kiss, they both return to the party. There, Ben learns that Claudia and Jaylee staged their fight to make him feel guilty and make amends with Bea.
Preview.